says.
Oh, I think I think we're probably live yet, but we're not going to start our interview right away
Oh,
because we're going to let some people come and join us on Facebook before we'll dazzle them with my hard-hitting questions and your deep, insightful answer.
Boom, boom, boom. It'll be just like that.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
So, yeah, I was actually trying to figure out, I think it's Montana below us.
Yeah, probably Montana. I was watching some crazy show last night where they were calling North Dakota South to Canada. I thought that was
Oh, there we go. Good afternoon and welcome to the After Lunch Special. Is being hosted by the Science of Mind magazine. My name is Amy Bishop, and I today have the privilege of interviewing the wonderful Robin Hackett. Welcome, Robin.
Well, thank you, Miss Amy. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm so grateful that that you agreed and were able to make it happen.
Yes. Yes.
So as I was saying before, I'm going to ask you just some questions about you, and we'll see where it takes us.
I love it.
Where were you born?
Oh, I was born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, very nice. Are you a single child? Do you have
I have
sisters?
2 brothers. I am a military brat. So I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, but I have no idea. I couldn't tell you a thing about Omaha, Nebraska, because I left there when I was 3. I spent most of my childhood in Germany. And that's actually where my music career began, because we lived in a very small German village. There was nothing to do. And my older brother had a guitar and I taught myself how to play that. So.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. So Omaha's not the end of the story when you say you're born in Omaha. And so your brother had a guitar. You taught yourself how to play guitar.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. What an excellent thing to teach yourself to do.
It was fun, actually, and like I said, it was in this small German village. There was one other American family, but they were kind of far from us. So you just had to do your own thing, and so that's how my brother didn't keep playing the guitar, and I just picked it up and said, "Well, this looks interesting." And then my dad bought me this book that said, "Learn to play the guitar in 10 days," and that's what I did. So.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful. And how long were you in Germany for? Like, when did you make your way back to the States?
So I was in Germany 2 times, so 8 years altogether. So from 3 until I was 7, and then 12 until 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came back here as a teenager.
I came back as a teenager and was in total culture shock when I got back. So that was interesting. And I did my senior year in Virginia. That's where my dad got stationed. So.
Okay. So were both of your parents in the military, or just your father?
Just my dad was in the military, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And who was your childhood hero?
Joni Mitchell.
Oh, love Joni Mitchell. Oh, Canada.
Oh, yeah, because she's from Canada, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd have to say Joni Mitchell, and I'll add Janice Ian to that as well, too.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And now, as an adult, do you still have a hero now?
I think it's still Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to a lot of Nina Simone lately.
Mm-hmm.
I just like her. I like her attitude, and I like her confidence. And she's a musical genius, I think. So.
Nina Simone or Joni Mitchell?
Both, but I was talking about Nina Simone. Yeah.
Okay. So what attracted you to even start listening to Joni Mitchell?
I think I was in college, and all of my roommates were listening to Joni Mitchell, and so that's really when I started listening to her. And I think Janice Ian was before that, and I can't leave out of this mix, because that's who really inspired me to play the guitar, was Richie Havens. If you know who Richie Havens is, from Woodstock.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So I saw him, and that's when I really picked up the guitars, because I saw a video of him, and I was like, wow, cool.
Yeah. So. And so when you started playing guitar, did you then also start writing music, or did that come a little bit later?
Oh my gosh, writing music came. I mean, you could say that I wrote music, but it was just really silly, childish stuff. It's like I was 12. And when I first got my hands on the guitar, there were only four strings on it. So I remember writing some silly little song with the four strings until my dad got, we got the rest of the strings. And then, of course, that's when I started learning. But I didn't start writing songs. So I was 12 when I started playing, but I didn't start writing songs until I moved to New York City after college.
Okay.
So I didn't even
And
know I could sing when I was 12.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Do you remember the first song that you wrote?
It was a song called Runnin'. It's on my very first album.
So the first song you ever wrote, you recorded and released?
I did, but I didn't release it till, I don't think, till years later. So I moved to New York like in 1983. I'm an old lady. So I moved to New York in 83 after college. And then I wrote that song, but I didn't record it till, I don't know, till years later. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, just to have to write something that, I mean, my first song was a song that I wrote so I could sing it at church, and it wasn't very good at all. So the fact that you wrote a song that was recordable, your first song ever, that's amazing.
Yeah, but it took a long time to do that, Amy. But yeah, thank you.
So what's your process then to write a song? What's your process?
I am a person, I've really tried to, I've spoken with different singer-songwriters, and I've really tried to follow. Some of my friends do this thing where it's like they craft their songs, they get up every day and they write. And I'm a person, and I've tried to do that, but it's just not, it doesn't seem to work for me. I am a bolt of lightning hits me and I go, oh my God, this is it. And then, and sometimes I have times where I don't write at all, but I know that my muse is going to come back and I'll write 5 songs in a row.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of hits me. So that's what my process is. It's really, for me, it's Spirit's process. It's God's process.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I have that same thing where I feel that itch, that need to pick up the guitar. Today's the day. Yeah. If I don't, then it's just a work in frustration.
Absolutely. That's how I feel. Yeah. And then I'm working too hard at it.
Yeah. Unless I'm writing with somebody else, in which case then their muse inspires me to be able to be creative together.
Absolutely.
Which is, a wonderful way to be creative as well.
I think so too. Yeah.
So that's how you write songs. Spirit is kind of the bolt of lightning. Now you've written a book, and the book is called The Creative You. Yeah. And was that a bolt of lightning?
Well, and I'll tell you that it's my 4th book.
Oh.
So my first book was a bolt of lightning, and it's called Girl, You're a Grown-Ass Woman. And it's a companion guide for women of all ages. It's self-help. That was a bolt of lightning, and I came up with the idea and then finished it within, I think, 36 hours. I designed my own cover. And yeah, it's just a whole process. Once that bolt of lightning hits me, I just keep going. And it's like I'm listening, someone's dictating to me, and I'm just listening.
Right.
And then I've written 2 fiction novels that are part of a trilogy, and it's a family saga / romance with the themes of spirituality and law of attraction and mindfulness and Buddhism and meditation and all that stuff. So I have those 2 fiction books, and then this last one is The Creative You. Yeah.
Wow. See, yeah. I did not know that.
I didn't expect that I would be an author like that. I thought I was just a singer-songwriter. But one day, a bolt of lightning once again, and I just had this idea. It was right after I decided to leave New York and move to Texas. And then I had this idea, well, why don't I write a story about a singer-songwriter who leaves New York and tries to find a different way of living out west, which turned out to be Texas. And that turned into an entire novel that turned into a 2nd book. And I'm working on the 3rd book of that trilogy right now too. So.
Wow. People in Facebook land, did you know this?
Some probably did. Some probably did. Yeah.
Oh, I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
So
I would never even think to sit to write a book. So
well,
I'm just blown away. I'm impressed.
Amy, I never did either. It just came through me. I was just a vessel, and I didn't even know. I truly did not know what the plot was. I didn't have characters planned or anything. It just all shot through.
Wow.
So I think during the pandemic, I kind of really, really embraced my creativity, and just decided to call myself a creative because I am.
Mm.
And before it's just like, yeah, I'm a singer songwriter, da 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 da. Am I really an author? Well, I'm gonna say yes, I am now. And
Yeah.
during the pandemic, because it was challenging to be performing the same way that we're used to performing, I thought, well, maybe I need to carve another road for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea of being a creativity coach popped into my mind like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times before the pandemic. And then it popped in again. And I finally said yes to it. And then my partner, he said, well, if you're going to be a creativity coach, you need to have a book with it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so I don't know, I probably finished that book in a month.
Wow.
So it's in the process of being edited. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So what does it mean to be a creativity coach? What I think I need one. What would you provide for
I
somebody
don't
who
think
needs a
you need
creativity
one.
coach?
I don't think you need one. I've heard you.
Well, take me out of the equation. You tell me what it is. What is that?
A creativity coach is someone. Say, for instance, there's someone who remembers that they were creative when they were young. Perhaps they got wounded around it, and maybe they wanted to sing, and someone said, "Oh, don't ever sing. You have a bad voice," and they get wounded around it. So I help people discover and or rediscover the creativity that lies within in them. But I think creativity lies within all of us. I think from the moment we wake up in the morning, we start creating. If it's just deciding what we're going to put on, because we didn't decide the night before, or decide what we're going to have for breakfast, because most likely we didn't decide that either. So we're just creating as we go through the day. So I try and get people to see that. And of course, I would work with people in the arts and get them to rediscover and move those blocks and those negative thoughts about how they're not this and they're not that, and to move that childhood stuff out of the way. Yeah.
Wow, what a wonderful call to have answered. To be a creative coach. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you are pretty well known in New Thought circles. What is the first New Thought experience that you had at first place you performed at? Or
well, it was so cool. It was at the Center for Spiritual Living in Dallas, because that's where I moved to when I left New York. And I didn't know, that was another impulse thing. It was a bolt of lightning. Moved to Texas. My family was there, and they kept asking me to move there. I was like, I'm never leaving New York for that. But I did. And that was a bolt of lightning too. It was just like, it's time to go. It's time to go. So I went to Texas, didn't know anybody there except for my family, didn't know what I was going to do for a living, just, hadn't figured all that out. And I went online and Googled Dallas musicians. And it came up with this, a lot of people, but with this woman that lived in the town that I was in named Julie Bonk. And Julie's a piano player and also the mentor to Nora Jones. That's who Nora Jones studied with for years. And so I just called her up on the phone and we just chatted. And then I ended up going to her house and hanging out. And then a few weeks later, she said, I play at this church. Well, she goes, it's a spiritual place. And the singer who's normally there isn't going to be there. Would you like to come and do that? And so that's how it happened. And I was taking Michael Gott's place. He wasn't gonna be there that week. And so I went in and sang, and then that was it. Yeah. So
that's awesome. That's a very similar story to Gary Lynn Floyd.
Oh,
that same. Yeah, he was taking over for Michael Gott because he couldn't be there one Sunday, and that's how he got into.
I might have known that. I think I might have known that. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you soon after that, or before that, even start writing songs that were in that vein of, positivity and taking action in a positive way in your life?
I think I had written one song with some friends when I lived back in New York, and that song was called Certain People. And I love telling the story Amy, that when I was in New York, I bought the Science of Mind big book, the Ernest Holmes book, like 3 times. And I would go, oh, this is really interesting while I'm in the store. And then I'd bring it home and go, oh my gosh, it's too intellectual. I can't deal with it. And I would give it away or, what have you. I did that 3 times. So
Wow.
maybe a little bit of it. And I went to the Unity Church, Eric Butterworth in New York, to the big, huge church there once. But something must have rubbed off on me because Certain People is very much a New Thought song, but I didn't know what New Thought was at the time when I wrote it.
Well, I'm going to look that one up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was your first experience at a CSL center.
Mm-hmm.
And how many recordings, how many CDs do you have?
I think I have 7.
Wow, that's
7
great.
CDs. I also sing jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back and forth between the two, and sometimes they end up being melded together, kind of like Joni, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have a jazz CD, I have a Christmas jazz CD, and then I have 3 or 4 other CDs of original, singer-songwriter stuff. And even on the jazz CD, I have original jazz tunes.
Right.
So.
And do you have plans to record more?
I'm not sure. I'm feeling really drawn to being an author and to continue in that vein. And I even declared during the pandemic, well, I'm not going to pursue singing anymore. I'm not going to do that any longer. I'm going to be a creativity coach. And I, shared it with a few friends, and they're like, ha, 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 let's see that happen.
You can do both.
I know. In my mind, I go, oh my gosh, I either have to be this or I have to be that. But yeah, I can do both. But do I have any plans right now? No. Do I have a bunch of songs that I could record right now? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It'll be the CD that goes along with your next book.
Oh, probably. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I like
Cross
that.
marketing right there.
Thank you.
All right. So we have about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to ask you questions.
All
and just
right.
whatever the first thing pops into your mind. Remembering that it is a family show. All right. So what is the first record that you bought with your own money?
Oh my gosh. With my own money. Oh my gosh. The Carpenters.
We've only really? Very nice.
Yes.
Pardon me?
We've only just begun.
Oh, such a beautiful record. What is one thing that you would put on your bucket list?
To put on my bucket list? Oh, jeepers. To sing on stage. I know this is going to sound crazy. To sing on stage with Harry Connick Jr.
Ooh, fun. Do you have any unreasonable or strange phobias?
Well, I have a phobia that I'll be in my house and the patio door will be open and a bear will walk through the patio door.
That does not seem unreasonable. You're in the mountains, right? I'd be afraid of that too. I don't like cotton balls. That's unreasonable.
Oh. I don't know if I have anything unreasonable like that. I'll have to think about it. So, I don't know.
Do you seaweed to eat? Yuck or yum?
I love seaweed. Oh my gosh.
All right then.
Are you talking about raw seaweed or the seaweed that you can buy it like in strips? They come in these little.
Yeah, like nori.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh, we have some up in the kitchen. Yes.
But you wouldn't just yanked it out of the ocean. You wouldn't just chow down.
No.
All right, me either for either of them though. Who's your favorite cartoon character?
Charlie Brown.
And why?
Because he is the epitome of getting back up. Dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your favorite summer activity?
Summer activity? Well, I'm going to have to say hanging out at a friend's swimming pool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What is one thing that annoys you?
One thing that annoys me is when the sound isn't good when you're on stage.
Oh yeah. Um,
Yeah.
what's the first thing that you do when you get up in the morning?
I go to the bathroom.
All right, then. You don't have to explain that any further. Um, what is one thing that you've always wanted to do?
One thing I've always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, Amy. These questions that I
I know they're
haven't
hard
done,
hitting.
that I
Yeah.
haven't done.
Or even that you have. It's just something that you always wanted to do. That's something, that pulls
Uh,
you.
Sing in front of 20,000 people.
Nice. Have you done that?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. One audience at a time, maybe.
That's right. That's right.
What's your favorite song?
Um, you know what? I'm gonna have to say "Love Is What We're Here For," and I can
Oh,
only say that because I was just a pure vessel. That was a download. I love that song.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
What is the last film that you watched?
A passage to India with my fella on Sunday.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our 20 minutes with Robin Hackett. Thank you, Robin, for coming and chatting with me
Thank you,
and
Amy.
making this happen. And I can't wait to actually meet you face to face
I
and
know. That
and
would
sing
be
with you.
great. That would be great. Thank you
All right,
so
thanks
much.
everybody. Tune in next week for another after lunch special. I'm Amy Bishop, and see you soon.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Robin.